Hi, my name is Dr. Christine Goodhart, and I will be your instructor for this winter session Human Genetics course. I want to welcome you to the course, and I also want to take a few moments here to orient you to the course itself and to the Canvas website where the course will be facilitated. So what you're looking at right now is the home page of our course Canvas site, and the first thing that I want to show you is this button here called Home in the upper left-hand corner. And if you ever get lost, you can always hit this button Home and it will take you right back to the home page here. So on the home page, you have, first of all, a little welcome with a link to a welcome announcement that includes this video. And then below that section, you have a number of tabs. I want to walk you through these tabs so that you are able to effectively navigate the Canvas site and access all of the necessary resources and materials. So the first tab says Course Information, and if you hit this button, it will bring you to the course information page. The first thing in the course information page is the syllabus, and I will go through the syllabus briefly with you in just a moment, but I want to keep moving down this page to show you some other items of interest. The second section is the course materials section, and this is where you have some information about the required textbook, which is the Human Genetics textbook by Ricky Lewis. I have a link to a website that shows you what the textbook looks like. And please note that there will also be a copy of the textbook on reserve in the campus library if you would like to do your reading there. In addition to the textbook, which is required and is necessary for effective completion of this course, I will also be providing video and website resources to help you as you work through the material. And you are also encouraged to look up other sources of reputable information as well. And to help you do so, I have a little video to give you information and tips on how to determine if you are looking at a reputable source, as well as here's a link to a website with more information about accessing reputable sources of information. If you are new to Canvas or if you need some review, the link here will take you to a website that gives you support for using Canvas. So this is through the Citrus College webpage, and it provides a student guide for using Canvas as well as a number of informational tutorials. And then here are access information as well as the helpline in case you are experiencing any trouble. Okay, I'm going to go back to that course information page, and the last section deals with your Citrus College student email. I will be communicating with you through the messaging system in Canvas as well as with announcements, and both of these will be sent to your Citrus College student email account. This is also how the college will communicate with you, so I recommend that you check this account regularly, and if you don't, that you forward the email to an email account that you do check regularly. And information for doing so can be found at the website at the link here. It gives you information about how to find your student email address, how to access it, how to forward your email, and so on. Okay, I'm going to go back to the syllabus, and if you click on the link here, it will allow you to download a PDF copy of the course syllabus. So here it is, and let's take a look at it. The first page is very informational about the course itself. So you have information about the course code, the website, which is the Canvas site we're working through, and the required text. Please note you do not need to purchase an online access code. You will also see my contact information. Best way to get a hold of me is through email. And if you would like to schedule time to meet virtually through an office hour, I can do that as well. Please contact me to schedule that. And the next section is the course description and objectives. So this course will cover general principles of genetics and reproduction with an emphasis on human applications. The topics that we will cover will include Mendelian inheritance, extensions to Mendelian inheritance, Multifactorial traits, you'll learn what those are. DNA structure, function, and replication. Cell division, population genetics, evolution, immunity, cancer, and genetic technologies. And this is a very exciting time to be learning about genetics. There are some really extraordinary genetic technologies that are coming out. We'll talk about those this semester. Now, this course is offered in an online education format utilizing this Canvas website. Please note that this course is being conducted at a very accelerated rate. Basically, we are taking the normal 16-week semester and cramming it down into 6 weeks. So we are going to be covering 4 to 5 chapters a week. It's going to be quite a bit of information to cover each week. So effective use of both the required textbook and the resources on the Canvas site will be critical to your success. Now, I also have some tips to help you succeed in this course. Let me go through them with you very briefly right now. Tip number 1, very important. Schedule time in your calendar each week to work on this course. What gets scheduled gets done. And I encourage you to block out or schedule at least 10 hours each week to work on this course. I'm going to help you with this because one of the first assignments will ask you to determine when that time will actually be that you're going to block out to work on this course. Tip number 2. Read through the announcements posted at the beginning of each week for information, updates, and reminders. And again, I will be communicating with you through the announcements function as well as through the messaging function in Canvas, and both of those will be sent to your student email address. Tip number 3, be aware of the due dates for all course assignments. There is a schedule in the syllabus. I will go through that with you in just a moment, but I suggest that you put these assignments in your calendar. If they're in your calendar, they will be on your radar and you will be much less likely to miss them. Tip number 4, use the assigned chapters in the textbook, but in addition to that, I will also have recommended videos, lectures, animations, and outlines. And you can use these resources when answering the chapter and quiz questions. Tip number 5, I suggest that you answer the chapter questions prior to attempting the quiz questions. And I'm actually going to help you with this because the chapter question assignments will be due prior to when the quizzes are due. And I will give you an answer key for the chapter question assignments that will be available immediately following the due date, and you can use the answer key when completing the quizzes. Tip number 6, and probably the most important tip, please reach out if you have any questions. The best way to get a hold of me is through email, and I can also meet with you through virtual office hours if you'd like to schedule them. Okay, the second page is the course schedule, and this shows what will happen each week. So this is a 6-week course, and the schedule is broken down into these rows that each correspond to a week in the course. This first row right here corresponds to week number 1. These are the dates of week number 1, the topics that we will cover, the associated chapters, as well as the assignments. And there is a row for each week in this course, so you already know what will be expected of you. The last week of the course, week 6, is finals week. There will be no new material covered, but there will be assignments that are due that week, including a final quiz. Okay, grading for this course. So the top of this page shows you a chart that includes all of the different components that will contribute to your course grade and the amount of points associated with each of those components. On the side of the chart is a grading scale. At the end of this course, you will receive a letter grade that corresponds with the percentage of points that you earned. And the grading scale for that letter grade can be found on the right side of this page. Below the chart, there's a section for each component of your grade where you can read a little more information about it. The last page of the syllabus includes the course policies, and I want to spend just a moment with this first course policy right here, the late assignment submissions. Please note that late work will not be accepted under any circumstances. However, I understand that things happen, technological issues can arise, personal issues can arise, and because of that, I recommend, first of all, that you don't wait until the last minute to submit your assignments. And also, please note that I will be offering some extra credit later in the course that you can use to make up for any missed points during the course itself. But please make sure that you adhere to the due dates. I do not accept any late work. Email policy. I ask that you do include your first and last name when you email me so that I can better help you. And I will do my best to answer any emails within 24 hours on weekdays and 48 hours on weekends. Academic accommodation. I'm happy to provide reasonable accommodation for any DSP&S students. Please contact me if you need any accommodation. Veterans, welcome home, returning veterans. We are honored to have you on campus and we look forward to your continued success here. I understand that you might have additional responsibilities that might impede your ability to do some assignments in this course. Please keep in contact with me. I'm also very happy to provide any reasonable accommodation. Academic honesty. Academic honesty is a hallmark of higher education, and we do take this very seriously. What academic honesty boils down to is that you are submitting your own work. It's not the work of other people. It's not the work that you've copied off of different websites or even copied from the textbook. It is your own work in your own words. And you can read more about the academic honesty policy at the link here. The last thing on the syllabus is the student learning outcomes. And there are 4 major student learning outcomes for this course: computation, articulating the laws of genetics using scientific terminology, communication was the first one, computation, calculate estimated genotypic and phenotypic frequencies as they pertain to Mendelian and variations on Mendelian genetics. You will learn what those terms mean. Creative, critical, and analytical thinking, explain the basic principles of genetics and reproduction as applied to humans. And community, global consciousness, and responsibility, articulate the role that genetics plays in human health and evolution. Okay, that is the syllabus, and it's always available to you in the course information page. I'm going to hit this home button to go back to the home page of the Canvas site. And underneath the course information tab is the instructor information tab, and here you can learn a little bit about me and my role in the course. I'm going to go back to the home page by clicking on the home button. And I'm actually going to go to the 4th tab here, frequently asked questions. So if you have any questions, this is probably a good place to start. You might find the answer here. I have broken up the frequently asked questions page into different sections. For example, on chapter question assignments, submitting assignments through Turnitin, quizzes, etc. And if you find that your question is not answered here, please reach out to me. I welcome any and all questions that you have. I'm going to hit that home button, go back to the home page, and I am going to go to the 3rd tab now, advice from former students. This tab is my gift to you. What I have done is I have asked students who have taken this course before, what advice would you give someone taking this course next semester? And what you have is their advice in their words to you. I highly recommend that you read through this advice and heed it. And actually, I'm also going to help you do that as well, because one of the first assignments, the first reflection assignment, will ask that you go through that list and find some advice that might apply to you or be relevant to your situation. which leads us to the next tab, Course Reflections. There will be 3 course reflections throughout this course. The first one is already available to you, and it will be due on Sunday, January 13 by 10 p.m. And you can access this first course reflection at the link here. The assignment itself can be found at the tab, which will allow you to download a PDF version of the assignment. Please note that there are no right or wrong answers to these questions. These questions are really meant to help you reflect on why you are taking this course, what you hope to gain from it, and how you can successfully complete the work involved. And there are 5 questions for you to answer. I ask that you answer these questions and submit your answers, not the text of the questions. I already know what the questions are. I'm just interested in your answers to the Turnitin link on this page. Now, I'm not a student, and so Turnitin link doesn't show up for me, but you should have a link on your end where you can turn in your answers. Please note that I can only accept answers in either .doc, .docx, or .pdf format. Any other format I'm not able to access. Okay, I'm going to go back to the home page. The next tab is the Weekly Materials tab. Now, in addition to the textbook, each week I will provide some resources for you. And the week 1 materials are already available. So for week 1, we are going to cover 4 chapters, chapters 1 through 4. At the top of the page, this is the topics that we will be covering: an overview of genetics, cells, meiosis, development, aging, and single gene inheritance for this first week. And I've broken up the resources into the different chapters. So for each chapter, you will be given an outline. I highly recommend that you utilize the outline maybe as a way to familiarize yourself with the information in the chapter before you read it, or if you find that you are getting overwhelmed with the amount of material in the chapter, a good idea is to come back to the outline to give you a better idea of what are the main points. In addition to the outline, I will also provide the information from the chapter in bite-sized slide format in the form of a PowerPoint lecture. I will provide recommended videos that I found online that correspond to different concepts within the course. These videos are usually 10 minutes or less. And I will also provide any relevant websites if you want to learn more about the topics in that chapter. Additionally, some chapters will also contain animations from the publisher. So, for example, chapter 2 has animations that are really short. They're usually 1 to 3 minutes on very specific concepts within that chapter. And then for some chapters, for example, for chapter 4, I will give you practice worksheets that you can also use to help you understand the material in that chapter. So for chapter 4, I have given you a practice genetics problems worksheet that you can work through, and also the answer key so you can check your answers. I will not be collecting the answers from this worksheet. This is just for your own benefit. So each week I will be providing materials in the same way. I'm going to go back to the home page. And underneath the Materials tab, you have your Chapter Questions tab. Each week you will be assigned questions that correspond to the textbook chapters to help you understand the material, to guide you through that material. So the chapter questions for week 1 are already available. The chapter questions can be found at the link at the top of the page. You can download a PDF copy of the questions, and they're broken down by chapter. And the questions do come in order. So here are the questions, first of all, for chapter 1. I've broken them up into the different sections of the chapter. For each chapter, there are also 2 reflection questions. There's no right or wrong answer to the reflection questions. They're just a way for you to take in everything that you learned and reflect on what you thought was most important and also what you might still be struggling with. For this first assignment, there are 4 chapters that we're covering, so there are quite a few questions to answer. In fact, there are 94 questions in this first assignment. I suggest that you do not wait until the last minute. You will not be able to complete all of these questions if you wait until the last day. I suggest that you break up this work into multiple days and tackle it on a bit-by-bit basis. It will make it easier for you, and it will also help make the material more comprehensible. And please also submit your answers, not the text of the questions, just your answers to the Turnitin link here. Again, I can only accept document formats in .doc, .docx, and .pdf. Other formats such as pages will not be accepted. I'm going to go back to the home page. And underneath the chapter questions tab is the chapter questions keys tab. After the due date for the chapter questions, the chapter question key will be available. So this week 1 chapter question key will be available at 10 p.m. on the 12th, which is when the chapter questions is due. All right, going back to the home page. Underneath the chapter questions keys is the quizzes tab. Each week you will be responsible for a quiz that corresponds to the material in the chapters that we cover that week. The week 1 quiz is already available. At the top of the quiz page, you have information about when the quiz is due, how many points the quiz is worth, the number of questions. There are 30 multiple choice questions in each of these quizzes. It is available until the due date, at which time it won't be available anymore. So make sure that you complete it by that date, and you are allowed 3 attempts. I will keep the highest score of your 3 attempts. However, please be aware that each attempt will have slightly different questions associated with it. Also, these quizzes are open note. You don't have to memorize anything. You can have your notes in front of you, you can have your book in front of you, you can have the answer key to the chapter questions in front of you. I find that there's a lot of learning that happens when you look up answers. It is not cheating to use resources. However, I do expect that you are the one completing your quiz. Okay, I'm going to go back to the home page. A couple more tabs to show you. The next tab here is the discussion board tab, and there will be discussion board assignments due throughout the course as well as a couple other assignments. They're not yet available. However, the introduction discussion board forum is available. And so I encourage you to introduce yourself to me and to the rest of the class. Let us know who you are, why you're taking this class, something fun, interesting, memorable you did recently, where you see yourself in 5 years, and anything else you would like us to know about you. And you can add your own submission by clicking on that reply button, typing your response, and then you can post it by hitting the post reply button at the bottom. And if you'd like to reply to anyone else's post, you can hit the reply button and reply to them by posting that reply. Okay, going back to the home page. The Scientist Spotlight assignments will be available at this tab. The first one has been made available to you. This will be due by 10 p.m. on Sunday the 13th. And this Scientist Spotlight assignment will highlight Shinya Yamanaka. So to complete this assignment, I have a video for you to watch. Please note that you don't need to watch the entire video, you just need to watch from minute 26 to 40. When you watch that video, there will then be 5 questions for you to answer, and the questions can be accessed at the link at the top of the page. So these 5 questions, if you can answer those questions and submit your answers to the Turnitin link. All right, I'm going to go home and show you the last tab that's currently available. There's an extra credit tab, but the extra credit won't be available until later in the course. The grades tab, so you can keep track of your grades throughout the course. If you click on this tab, you'll be able to see the different types of assignments and the grade that you received, as well as any feedback. Additionally, you will have a to-do list on your Canvas site that will help you stay on top of your assignments. So that is the course. That is the course Canvas site. Again, my name is Christine Goodhart. I will be the instructor for this course. Please let me know if you have any questions. I welcome any and all questions that you have, and I look forward to working with you this winter session.